have just entered the casual conversations of the Uneducated Education Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay. We'll talk about lots of things, so join the conversation.
I woke up one day with a message to share. But with everything going on, I want to explain that it is not my intent to make anyone feel excluded. Everyone can take something away from today's episode. But the reality is, I am talking to those that look like me. When I look in the mirror, the first thing that I see is a black girl. So this message is for you, dear black girl. Before I get into today's topic, I would like to ask all those watching to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I am on a journey. I'm on my way somewhere. I am just getting started. But I want you all to come along for the ride. I don't think you'll regret it. So go ahead. Now, a lot of what I'm going to say to some people, it may seem like a pep talk or a motivational talk. And it's a lot of stuff that you may think we should know already. But everybody doesn't. Just like common sense isn't common, sometimes you just need to hear these things. And I'm going to tell it to you. I got you. Okay. I need you to know that you are the total package. What does that mean? It means whatever you need it to mean. And that really is the point. You are the total package. I don't think you hear that enough. There are some people that are surrounded by those that only point out their imperfections. And while we are all a work in progress, from where you're starting, you're complete. You within yourself are complete. And if nobody tells you that, I want you to listen to me tell you that. You are complete. You are the total package. I need you to know what you bring to the table. I need you to know yourself. I need you to love yourself. Because when you do these things for yourself, others can't break you down as easily. Someone is out there right now feeling defeated. And that's okay. But that is a place where many people reside. But what I'm trying to say is don't stay there. Don't you stay there. Don't you allow anyone to keep you there. When I tell you that you're complete, that means you have everything in you, or you have the tools to get everything that you need to further you, to propel you, whatever it is. You possess it. You just got to tap into it. But the first thing I need you to know, just simply, you are the total package. If people around you can't correct you in love, then you're around the wrong people. I said we're all a work in progress. Okay, so no one has all the answers. And even if it seems harsh, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not out of love. You got to be able to understand the two. But you'll know the difference. If someone is tearing you down and only pointing out when you do something or say something wrong, that's not in love. We're all going to mess up and make mistakes, but you need people around you that you can receive the correction from. And sometimes that might take some work on your end. And sometimes it could be the people that you surround yourself with. So if you don't have good people around you to allow you to build yourself up, you got to change your surroundings. But I'll go into that more another day. The second thing that I want to talk about, it's hard sometimes to mix the two, because while I just told you that you are the total package and you are complete, there's this fine line between being cocky and being confident. Black girl, don't be cocky. I want you to be confident. However, remember, you don't know everything and you still have room to grow. When you're cocky, you aren't listening.
When you're cocky, you aren't listening.
Be open, and you need to listen to learn. There's always something new to learn. So if you're tuned out and you already have it all, the answers, the knowledge, the know-how, then there's nothing that anybody can tell you or show you. And that's just not true. So don't be cocky with it. However, be sure of yourself. If you're talking about something or speaking to someone and they ask you a question, you answer it with authority, even if you're wrong. Because guess what? It's okay. We all mess up at times. But once you find out the right answer, recalibrate yourself and just don't make the same mistake twice or 3 times or 4 times, wherever you are in the process when you learn what better is. Just do better. That's all you have to do. It's not an embarrassment. It's not any of those things. It's, well, I thought I was right. But don't be wishy-washy. Don't walk around unsure of yourself. Wherever you are in life right now, be confident and stand in that. Be confident and stand in that and grow from that point. But if wherever you are already unsure of yourself, if you don't believe you, why should somebody else believe you? As long as you believe in yourself, you can get others to believe in you. So just start there. Just start there. So don't be cocky, but be confident, baby. Everyone has a fight. Okay? Don't discount or discredit someone else's experience just because it's different or less difficult than yours. What do I mean by that? I'll give you an example to help paint the picture. Parents tend to do this a lot. Let's say your child lost a friend. In the grand scheme of everything that you may be dealing with, you might have to figure out how the mortgage is getting paid. You might be worried about how to keep the car from getting repossessed. You might be trying to figure out how you're going to afford this week's groceries. Whatever it is, parents usually have bigger and deeper problems than their children. But what I don't want you to do is discount or discredit whatever their struggle may be. While it may be less than yours, it's still a struggle nonetheless. Everyone needs to learn to empathize with the things that they can't understand and relate to. So I wouldn't dare tell my parents or grandparents or great-grandparents for that matter that everything that I'm dealing with is so horrible and they can't understand or comprehend what I'm going through. Honey, I wouldn't have survived the things that my parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents went through. I was not born in that time because I was not made to live through those things. Okay? So while their struggles were way more intense than mine, my struggles are still real. So don't downplay whatever they may be going through. If your child lost a friend, don't tell them that's not the last one you'll lose. Oh, that's not that big of a deal. You'll get over it. show some empathy. Some of you probably can be sympathetic because you've been there before. Help them get through it. If that is the hardest thing that they've been through this far in their life, listen to what I just said. That is the hardest thing they've been through so far in their life. That's a struggle for them. So don't discount them. Don't discredit them. Don't disregard what they're going through because it's not as bad or severe as what you may be going through. Everything is not about you. So sometimes you have to remove yourself from the situation and be in that other person's shoes. And you can apply this situation to almost anything in life. I'm going to leave that there. My next point, some of you aren't going to get, but I'm talking to somebody because I've seen it. The point is, mothers are not in competition with their daughters. Somebody needed to hear this. And if I'm talking to you, there's no judgment. None whatsoever. Just listen. People are in different mental spaces. Most parents want what's best for their children and want them to go further than they've gone. Whether it be in education, whether it be in career, whatever the case may be. They want them to excel and go far beyond whatever level, that the parent achieved. But sometimes this isn't the case. If you've ever had a family member or a loved one, especially a parent, say something to you like, "Oh, so you think you better than me?" Then you know what I'm talking about. Just know that sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with you. Not saying the action is justified. Not saying that at all. But I need you to understand where it's coming from so you can deal with it better and not take it so personal. Although it's going to hurt. Especially if it's coming from a parent. Hurt people hurt people. I know you've heard that before. But if they're saying things like that to you, it's probably because they're not happy with themselves. They're not happy with where they are in life. They're not happy with the level of accomplishments that they currently have. And you just might be doing something right. And even though they might actually be proud of you, it's depending on their mental state. Remember, people are in different spaces in life. And if they're not happy with where they are, it's not necessarily, sometimes people are just foul, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't want you to achieve higher goals and be better than them. It's just easier for them to tear you down than it is to fix where they are. Again, I'm not justifying it. Me equipping you with this information, if you didn't already know it, is not for you to use it as a tool or a weapon. Okay? I just said hurt people hurt people. So if you in turn tell them that or have a real slick remark next time someone says something like that to you, then you in turn are that hurt person hurting someone. We need to learn how to act and interact with people out of love. If you also fight dirty, you run the risk of repeating the cycle. And then you'll be the person that's hurting the ones that they love. And you may not even mean to. So don't repeat the cycle. Try to operate in love at all times. But in order to do better, we've got to learn. And I'm just trying to equip you and teach you and share with you different things that you may not know, or say it in a way that makes something snap. That's all I'm trying to do. The next point that I want to hit on is, if you can't be your own motivation or inspiration, Find some. What do I mean by that? Okay, a couple things. So at some point I was listening to an interview, and it was a woman, and they asked her who she looked up to or who inspired her. Her answer was something like, no one. I'm my own motivation. I inspire myself. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. A lot of people can get themselves there. But that's not everybody's reality. And if that person is not you, that is okay. There is nothing wrong with that. I pull inspiration and motivation from all over the place. You hear something on TV. You never thought of that before. But now you want to try it. Motivation. You're reading an article and someone's doing something and now it interests you. Inspiration. This is the point of mentors. Find people that are already doing what you're interested in, or that are just doing something other than what you're doing. Reach out to them. Pick a mentor. It may take you a couple times to find one that really sticks and actually motivates you or inspires you. Some people are just consumed with themselves and they're good at doing, but they aren't good at teaching or showing. And that's fine. That's not everybody's ministry. Okay? Sometimes you need fresh ideas. And there's nothing wrong with not being able to motivate yourself. Is that where we want to be? Of course it is. But it doesn't matter where you get the motivation or the inspiration from. It matters that you do something. You start something. You finish something. You try something. That's what matters. There's 1,000 different ways to get to the finish line. But you gotta start. The other reason that I point this out, and I need you to understand that sometimes a lot of people use the excuse that they never had an example of, or I've never had a role model for. You can only use that excuse for so long. And actually, I'd rather you didn't use it at all. Because once you get to a certain point, it doesn't matter how raggedy your mom was, how absent your father was, what you didn't have growing up, what you lacked, what you did without. None of that matters. Because once you get to the point to where you can do for yourself and you have access to teach yourself, you have to be better than what you had. Now you have the tools, you have the resources to go out here and get it. If you didn't have a mom to teach you how to do your hair, if you didn't have a woman around to teach you personal hygiene, or your father wasn't around and you don't know what it's like, you didn't get that initial show of what love really feels like from a man. If you had all those things, it would be best case scenario. But if you don't allow those to be excuses. We can watch a movie and get ideas. You can watch a cooking show and get an idea of how to cook this recipe, or take a recipe from a cookbook and turn around and cook it. And no one ever taught you to cook, but you can do it. But those things you'll figure out. You can do the same thing. If you are a female and you never got taught how to do your own hair, there are 1,003, 100,000, million, billion videos on YouTube on how to do every single hairstyle that you can possibly think about. Watch a couple hours of video. Experiment. Do it the first time. Figure out how to tweak it and make it better. Then do it again. So if you don't know how to be ladylike, or you don't have manners, or you don't know what a table setting is supposed to look like, you have resources at your disposal. If you got a phone and Wi-Fi, you can find out pretty much everything that you need to know. We got no excuses. So let's stop allowing ourselves to take the easy out. If you can't be your own motivation or inspiration, find some. That is my point. This next one, I feel like is going to be a little difficult. If you are, especially if you are maybe school age and you are around a bunch of people, they don't even have to be doing anything wrong, but they're just doing things that you're not ready to do, or things that you don't want to do. It can be hard to stand out and be that one person to go against the grain. I understand the ridicule that you can go through. I understand the fear of being ostracized and no longer being a part of the group. I get it. And it's okay. What I want to tell you is that sometimes doing the right thing is the hardest thing. And you'll often hear doing the right thing should be easy, but that's not always true. So if you're not at a place yet where you can stand alone and you're okay with being by yourself or outside of the group, get you a group. Change your surroundings. Get you some people that are like-minded. You got to figure out a way, because you can't just go with the crowd because that's what the majority is doing. You have to be okay, or find a way to be okay with standing out and doing your own thing. So whatever way you need to get there, it's okay. But you got to get there. You got to get there. Learn eventually to stand on your own. And there may be a few people that just come out the womb and have it all together and have all the answers and are a born leader. But sometimes we just have follower tendencies. And it doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are a follower to have follower tendencies. Sometimes it's just easier to go with the grain. But I need you to break that. Be your own person. Do your own things. Be okay with you. Be okay with you. It doesn't matter that it's a group of 10 of you and 8 of you want to go to the movies to watch a scary movie and you don't like scary movies. So do you A, just sit this one out and not go? Or just to be a part of the group, do you go see the scary movie knowing that you're going to have nightmares and you're going to be scared to be in the room by yourself? This is just a basic example, but I think you see where I'm going with this. Be okay with saying, I'm not going tonight, guys. Or listen, sometimes for the right reasons, you have to do what you need to do for you. So be okay with using that excuse, whatever that excuse may be. If you don't want to go to the movies to see this scary movie or whatever the scenario may be, and you don't feel like you're strong enough yet to stand on your own and just say, I don't want to see that movie, I'm not going. Find you an excuse. Oh, my mom said I gotta do blah, blah, blah. Oh, my dad said I can't go because If you need an excuse, find one. If it's for your peace of mind and you are not yet strong enough, I'm going to keep emphasizing that, because at some point I want you to get to the point where you are strong enough to just say, that's not what I want to do. But if you're not there yet, make your own group, start a new group, find an excuse, but get to the point to where you are okay standing alone. Be and love what you are. Be and love what you are. What do I mean by that? If you are not happy with where you are right now in life, it's going to be very hard for you to be happy with and appreciate when you get what you think you want. If you're fat, be happy with yourself while you're fat. If you're skinny, be happy with where you are while you're skinny. Love you, whatever you are. If your hair is short, love you with short hair. If your hair is long and maybe you're still young and you're not allowed to cut it, love your long hair. Wherever you are right now, love it. Am I saying that you have to, it is what it is, that's the way it will always be and you shouldn't want change? I'm not telling you that. But what I'm saying is, if you can't see the beauty in you while you're big, when you start losing weight, you've already started to dislike yourself so much. When the change does actually start to happen, you may not even realize it. You could have lost 100 pounds, but when you look at yourself in the mirror, you still see that 200, 300, 400, however much you may weigh, pound person. Because you didn't like what you saw. All you point out when you look at yourself are the things that you don't like. It's okay to acknowledge that you want to change some things, but you have to love you where you start. When you look in the mirror, you have to look at yourself and see the total person. Might you have a big nose? Might you have bigger little lips? Might your eyes be big or small or bug-eyed? You might have a big forehead. You might have a little forehead. You might have a double chin. Whatever these things may be, it is okay. You have to be okay with you. Somebody's gonna like it. There is something out here for everybody. So if that's your reason for not liking something about yourself, because maybe someone told you they didn't like that thing, and that's their prerogative. Everybody's not going to like you, and everyone doesn't have to like you. But you gotta like you. You have to love you. I, growing up, used to hate my forehead because my forehead is big. It is. It's okay. And it took me a long time to embrace it and to love it. But one day I just realized it's not going anywhere. And it doesn't matter how many times I try to cover it up or how many ways I cover it up or different ways I take a picture, that forehead is still going to be there. The more I would cover my forehead up, the more my face would break out. So it's like, do I embrace my forehead or deal with my skin not being clear? And that's not how it came about, but it's just an example. But the forehead thing was real. And one day, remember when I said if you can't be your own motivation or inspiration, find some? One day my father said to me, he asked me why I always cover up my face. And of course I didn't tell my dad that I don't like my forehead. But he simply said to me, you're covering up your beauty. And it didn't click right then and there. But eventually one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, it's really not that big of a deal. It's forehead, it's big. and it's part of my face. Like if I wear a wig or something, I don't like when they cover up too much of my forehead because it's not me. But if you're not there yet, it's okay. That's just an example. That was a long roundabout way of me to just tell you, you need to find a way to get to where you love the things that you see when you look at yourself. Okay? Got that side view. Look at it. It's just like, pow. But it's me. Whatever. All of it. So, if it's something that you can change about yourself, if you're big or you're skinny and you want to be the opposite, work on those things. But embrace yourself and it'll make the transition a lot easier. You'll be able to notice it a lot more. Just love you, whatever you are. Just love yourself. You can conquer the world with some self-love and some motivation. You can do so many things because you're not sitting around thinking about the bad or what's wrong. You've acknowledged where you are. You've accepted yourself. And now you got so much time to focus on something else. Not I hate my weight. I hate my hair. I hate my face. I hate my ears. I hate my stomach. I hate my stretch marks. A lot of us have been there. I didn't wake up like this. It took me a long time to grow into the skin that I'm in. But I'm trying to tell you, so maybe I can save you some time. You will have defeating moments, but don't let them define you. And I touched on this a little bit in the vulnerabilities episode, but I put that here because sometimes you're told you can't do something or something's not for you. And I just don't want you to hear that so many times that you believe it. You're not going to succeed in everything that you try to do, but it doesn't mean you give up. Do not let the things that you fail at define you. And the only way you do that is if you quit there. If you're trying to do something that you're just not capable of doing, you've tried and it just hasn't worked out, it's fine for you to stop that particular thing. But don't stop in life. Find you something new. Come up with a new plan, something different, and start giving that all you have. So just, it doesn't matter what people tell you or what you experience. Just understand you're going to have defeating moments where you feel like I can't come back from this. This is unrecoverable. It is not. It is not. It doesn't matter if you lose your best friend. It doesn't matter if you lost your car. It doesn't matter if you got evicted from your house. It doesn't matter what the case may be. You can recover. You can come back as long as you try. But if there's anything that I talk about and you feel, oh, I need you to dig a little deeper on that, or I need you to further explain or expound on that, please let me know, because I don't want to leave you hanging. It's never my intent to point out a problem without offering a solution or a different way to do things. I'm just giving you what I got, and I don't know what you need if you don't let me know. So just talk to me. I am a product of my experiences. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm figuring it out. And I'm learning as I go. I share my opinions and points of views in hopes that it keeps someone from having to do things the hard way. Okay? Sometimes you can learn things from being told. But there are some of y'all out there that you're just gonna have to bump your head a couple hundred times. And that's okay. Sometimes the best lessons are the ones that you just learn yourself. But some people can take heed to instruction. And that's what I'm trying to provide. Or just a different outlook. Or just let you know that whatever it is, it's going to be okay. You may find yourself in spaces where you feel like, I've been told X, Y, and Z so many times that I believe it. I can't possibly be lovable. I'm unlikable. I'll never be anything in life. I'll never succeed. I'll never do more than what I'm doing. I'll never get out of my neighborhood. I'll never get a degree. I'll never travel. Whatever it is. Dear Black girl, you are the total package. Dear Black girl, you are enough. Dear Black girl, if you are not where you want to be right now in life, whatever that might be, if you're not the student that you want to be, if you are not the employee that you want to be, if you are not the business owner that you want to be, if you are not the mother that you want to be, if you're not the daughter that you want to be, if you're not the friend that you want to be, whatever it is, if you want to do better, you can do better. You can be better. Because you're a Black girl. And you're capable. And you are loved. Even if you feel like you're the only person who loves you. And that's why I need you to understand that you have to love yourself. Don't leave there room for anyone else to put doubt in your head about you. Be your biggest fan. And if no one else told you today, dear Black girl, I love you. The takeaways for the show are always the same. You're not always going to agree with everything that I say. We don't always share the same views and opinions. There's somebody that is sitting there that might say, you know what? I needed to hear that today. And that's why I'm here. So when you talk, we listen. And that is, we try to understand, we try to teach, we try to accept, we try to love, and we try to consider one another. That's what this show is all about. Thanks for watching, and please join us on the next episode of the Uneducated Education Talk Show, Small Talk Edition. Doves and Hearts.
Conversation.
Thank you, Evolution.
Why did I say that? This is powerful.